What is up, guys? Welcome back to another quick video here on the Fantasy Fellowship channel. My name's Kyle. Tonight, January 3rd. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm just going to go over the Week 18 news. There's a lot of, there's a lot of good games this weekend, but there's a lot of not so good games this weekend with players being rested as teams are kind of locked into their seeds and whatnot. So I'm just going to kind of go over the news and let you guys know who's in, who's out, who missed practice today, that kind of thing. If you guys still are playing in Week 18, this may be relevant for you guys, but otherwise we're just kind of setting the stage here and getting ourselves ready for week 18. And we will be I'll probably do some more, I think next week for the playoffs, maybe I'll do some live streams setting ourselves up and watching those practice reports. But let's hop right into it here. Michael Mayer not practicing for the Las Vegas Raiders. And you guys can check out all of these for yourself too. I might actually put this like a link in the comments where you get the NBC Sports player news here. But no Michael Mayer today. Marvin Mims limited. We might see him a little bit more week 18 this weekend. No Najee Harris. Interesting. They got the game, I believe, on Saturday. I think that's Ravens Steelers, and we'll talk about Ravens guys soon. Cortland Sutton limited today with a concussion. Not sure if they're going to try and force him into there, but we shall see. He did miss week 17, so there's a chance that he's playing week 18 just for fun. Tyler Higbee not playing in week 18, and the Rams are pretty much like they're clinched a playoff wildcard spot, but it's just a matter of, are they the 6 or are they the 7? If they lose this game and Green Bay were to win, Green Bay hops them and they're the 6. So there's a little bit of things at play here, but no Kieran Williams this weekend. The Rams also ruled out a couple other players. Aaron Donald getting the week off here. So the Rams are the 6 or the 7. We're going to see Ronnie Rivers, Royce Freeman, and Zach Evans take the field as a RB platoon. We'll get to some more Rams players that are in and out. Darnell Mooney not practicing with a concussion. We'll see if he can go week 18 against the Packers. I'm going to say doubtful. More Rams news here. Cooper Kupp will not play. I don't know if I saw something on Stafford. We'll see if we get to it, but we're just going to keep reading the news until we find, notes from earlier in the week. But no Cooper Kupp this weekend. No Kieran Williams for the Rams. Keenan Allen he hasn't practiced and played for a while, so I would be shocked if he plays week 18 with nothing to play for. We're going to assume no Keenan Allen in this one. Zay Jones limited. We'll see if he can go. Didn't play last week, if I remember correctly, but Christian Kirk, we saw some positive reports on Christian Kirk. Maybe I'll get to those here in a second. Devonta Smith not practicing today. Not sure what's up with that. To me, the Eagles are kind of locked into the 5th seed. With the Cowboys being the 2 right now, going up against Washington, the Cowboys shouldn't have to worry too much about Washington. I would expect the Cowboys to win, and the Eagles kind of be locked into the 5th seed. So maybe we see the Eagles kind of give their guys a little bit of a break this weekend and start getting ready for the first round of the playoffs. But no Devonta Smith today. Josh Jacobs going to try and play. I believe the Raiders are eliminated, but I'm not sure. He probably just wants to get out there. But hey, Zamir White is a good player. We'll talk about him, I think, next year and see what's going on here. I don't know if Josh Jacobs is coming back to Las Vegas, but I do like what I've seen from Zamir White the past few games. Juwan Jennings practicing in full. No Noah Brown. They have the big game here on, I believe that's the Saturday night game, Houston versus the Colts. Basically, it's a playoff game, winning in. Loser goes home. We'll see if Noah Brown can play. They need him to have a full array of weapons. No Elijah Mitchell with an illness. We know Christian McCaffrey's not playing in this one, so maybe Jordan Mason will see the bell cow role here for the 49ers as they're kind of just pacing themselves here. They're on they have the first round bye already clinched, and maybe they give Elijah Mitchell even an extra week off. Devon Achane limited participant in practice today. They got a big one, of course. That's the Sunday night headliner against Buffalo for the division. It's either a nice home game or you're on the road. So that's a very important game for the Dolphins. It looks like they're just resting their guys. Not so sure on Raheem Mostert, though. Didn't play last weekend. Didn't practice on Wednesday here, so we'll have to monitor Raheem Mostert and the Dolphins. Zach Moss, full participant with that forearm injury for Saturday. Good to see Jamar Chase limited today. No setbacks after playing last weekend. Basically, they're just trying to play and kind of keep the rhythm going. And basically, I'm just happy that he didn't re-injure himself. He's in good shape enough to play. So maybe we'll see him out there week 18 with nothing to play for. T. Higgins did miss practice today. So we'll see. We'll see on T. Higgins. Here's Ravens news. Ravens are kind of, feeling pretty good about where they're at. Lamar Jackson getting the weekend off. Tyler Huntley will be starting week 18 against the Steelers. There's the T. Higgins update. Lamar Jackson will not play. Alvin Kamara didn't practice today. The Saints still have an outside chance to make the playoffs, so maybe they're just being cautious here and making sure he's ready to go. Otherwise, Kendre Miller would be called up. Jamal Williams would be the guy, the next man up there. And Jamal Williams played well last weekend in Kamara's absence with that ankle injury. So we'll see on Kamara. Sam Darnold will start against the Rams here. Brock Purdy not playing in this one. I'm sure we'll see some other starters ruled out for San Francisco. We still expect George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel to play sparingly, if at all. So maybe it's just kind of, air routes for these guys here, making sure they're not doing anything too crazy and giving Sam Darnold at least a decent chance to throw to some decent players. So Brock Purdy not in, no CMC, but I guess Kittle, Ayuk, and Deebo we'll see on these guys. Great news here for Green Bay as breakout rookie Jaden Reed got hurt on Sunday Night Football against the Vikings. He had a huge game, catching touchdowns and doing some big plays. Practice today. He left early, I think around halftime, able to practice Wednesday. That's a good sign for his availability against the Bears this weekend. And then more good news for the Packers wide receivers. Christian Watson finally practiced on Wednesday here. He didn't practice all last week. He's missed 4 straight games. Good sign here that maybe he gets out on the field, knocks some of the rust off. Maybe he doesn't have a big game or anything like that, but it'd be really good for him to be on the field if the Packers win to kind of get him ready for the first round of the playoffs here. It says Dontavian Wicks and Jaden Reed were both at practice. So Packers getting healthier at the receiver spot. The Vikings are going to be starting Nick Mullins. Didn't take long. Jared Hall didn't really play well. He was pulled at halftime. Mullins played okay in sparing times throughout the year, but the Vikings are pretty much just kind of mailing it in here. Zay Flowers did not practice Wednesday. We'll watch for him. He might get the weekend off. We shall see. We're probably not going to see a lot of good Baltimore players play on Saturday. Carson Wentz will start on Sunday against the 49ers. So congrats to Matthew Stafford. He's getting a well-deserved weekend off. He had been playing like a top quarterback the last month or so to get this team in the playoffs. So good job, Matthew Stafford. We're going to see Carson Wentz for the first time in quite a while for the Rams here. Saints restructured Marshawn Lattimore's contract. Deuce Vaughn on injured reserve. Sam Howell gets one more chance to impress maybe the future head coach. I don't know who the head coach is going to be, but there's going to be a lot of changes going on in Washington. We like their playmakers, though. Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson. I also like the running backs, Brian Robinson, Chris Rodriguez, and we'll see if Antonio Gibson comes back here. But interesting, we'll see Sam Howell take the field one more time as a starter. Not expecting Jacoby Brissett to be ready for anytime soon. Saquon Barkley reiterates his desire to return to the Giants next year. Of course, he signed that 1-year contract extension. We're going to see a lot of good running backs on the free agency market, and Saquon, Josh Jacobs, guys like that. The Browns are rolling with Jeff Driscoll against the Bengals here. So it's just, I hope you guys are not doing Week 18 fantasy football championships. This is one of the worst weekends in football. It is the worst weekend in football because there's just going to be a lot of fluff and weird games going on. So no Joe Flacco, getting him rested up. They're locked into the number 5 seed, it says here. Very excited about what Joe Flacco's been able to do. Will Levis hopeful to play on Sunday. Josh Allen insists he's good to go for Sunday with that neck injury. He's been a beast all year. 15 rushing touchdowns on the year for Josh Allen. Jalen Waddle has a chance to play. I was under the impression that we're not going to see him till the first round of the playoffs. So we'll see about that. I think Jalen Waddle probably needs another week off here with that ankle injury, but we'll see. They're giving him a chance to play here. It says no Amari Cooper today. I would be surprised if he plays this one. It's a meaningless game against the Bengals with the backup QB in. Give Cooper another week of rest. He's a veteran. He can do it. No Patrick Mahomes, as the Chiefs are kind of locked. I believe they're locked into the 3 seed here. We're probably going to see a bunch of other starters for Kansas City get the week off. Maybe Travis Kelce allows himself to rest. Maybe Isaiah Pacheco. We'll see, on some of the other the Chiefs here. Zach Wilson remains in the concussion protocol and will be inactive for Week 18. So they're already calling that one. That one's interesting. Trevor Siemian will get the start for the Giants or for the Jets. No Baker Mayfield today. Kyle Trask is expected to get most of the Bucs first team reps in practice this week with Mayfield struggling through a rib injury he picked up in last week's loss to the Saints. So interesting. Still not sure. The vision's on the line here. The Bucs need to win. They're playing the Panthers. Baker, I'm sure, would love to get into that game as he was a Panther last year. But we'll see. We'll watch. The NFC North or NFC South is still up for grabs. The Saints could do it. The Bucs basically win and they're in. But if they lose, there's going to be some moving in the positions. Taylor Heineke limited today. Cole Kmet not practicing. We'll see about his availability. He didn't play a lot last week against the Falcons. They could rest Cole Kmet. The Bears are officially eliminated from the playoffs. We'll see if they want to try and play spoiler against Green Bay. You got Brian Dable saying Tyrod Taylor will start against the Eagles. Trevor Lawrence practiced in limited capacity. He's on track to play, I would say, this weekend. And it wouldn't be a bad idea to get him out there before the actual playoffs, let him get his feet back underneath him, get the rust knocked off. I would say he's probably going to try and play against Week 18 opponent here. Let's load up some more. Here it is. 49ers running back Jordan Mason could be the team's primary running back in Week 18. Christian Kirk, here's the good news that I hinted at earlier. They opened his 21-day practice window for Christian Kirk. I fully do not expect him to play in Week 18. Maybe he's active and he runs a few rounds, something like that, just to kind of get him out there on the field. But usually when a player's practice window is opened, he's going to practice that week. He's going to miss that game. And then the following week, he should be ready. So it looks like there's a chance Christian Kirk's out there round one of the NFL playoffs. No Marlon Humphrey on Tuesday. Now we're into the Tuesday news here. So we kind of hit everything that I wanted to hit today. Let me just kind of pull up those the NFL standings real quick and kind of just show you guys what we're looking at here with teams and the seedings. The AFC side here, the Ravens, you know, they got the 1 seed. They're not playing their guys. The Dolphins right now hold the 2. If Buffalo wins, they're going to hop them and be the 2, I believe. Because they did beat Kansas City, so that would be where they're at. And if Dolphins win, obviously they would be the 2 as well. So we're going to see those 2 teams hop, jostle for position. The Browns did beat the Dolphins, I believe. I can't remember if that's correct. I believe so. It's likely that Miami and Buffalo switch, and then the 7 seed's likely the Colts or the Texans. Steelers still have an outside chance here, but I'm not sure what the scenario is for the Steelers here. But it's going to be one of these AFC South teams probably as the 7, and then either Buffalo, Miami will be the 2-7. So we'll watch for that. Jacksonville does need to win. You know, if they lose, they could fall out of the playoffs. So I guess that's what the Steelers need. The Steelers need Jacksonville to lose, and obviously one of the Colts or Texans will lose. So that would be the Steelers' hope. On the NFC side, 49ers are locked in. They're going to rest their guys. Hopefully the Cowboys don't, have to exhaust themselves against the Commanders to get that win. Detroit kind of feels like they're locked into the 3. Because even if Dallas loses, we would expect Philadelphia to be able to win their game against the Giants. So it feels like the top 3 seeds are set, the 5 seeds set. Tampa Bay, again, if they win, they're the 4. If they lose, New Orleans could hop in and steal that final spot. And they're leaving a spot open for Atlanta too, just in case Atlanta wins and kind of makes things messy. And then Rams, they're already locked in. They're going to be the 6 or the 7. Basically, if the Green Bay wins, they are in. It's just a matter if the Rams lose, the Packers can move up to 6. If the Rams win, the Packers are locked in at 7. So those are your major playoff scenarios for Week 18. But either way, that's a quick one for you guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you guys in a future video. Peace.